scoot over here because of the chat windows. Let me go ahead and close off that caption here. Welcome to the Prancing Pony Podcast Plays. I do understand that we're having some issues with YouTube this evening. I was just looking it up, and apparently it's down for several 100,000 U.S. users right now. Oh, of course I sound far away. I forgot to set the mic up. Ha ha ha! Ha ha! We have a mic now. Sorry about that. All right, so welcome to the Prancing Pony Podcast Plays. Thank you for joining me tonight. For those of you on YouTube, you're not here. I don't know. Maybe it's working someplace else. What I read is that it's down for a few 100,000 users here in the U.S., but I don't know if it's down in other places. Erica says it is back up. So great. That is good to know. So glad. I'm assuming they had people working overtime saying, we have to be ready to go at 6 p.m. We have to be. It is important to their business model. It's like the next Mr. Beast video. They have to be up. No, if it's it may not be up for everybody. Like I said, what I was reading was that it was down for 300,000 users. I tested it myself and I couldn't get on. So for those of you who are able to view this on YouTube, great. Thank you for being here. Hopefully the rest of you will join us on Twitch if you can't get there on YouTube. But yeah, it's apparently we have a problem and I don't know what it is. So it's not me. For one time, for the first time, and perhaps the last time, it's not me. So welcome, everyone. Welcome. I'm hoping that your week has gone well so far. It always feels like the gap to Saturday to Tuesday stream is always small, that only a couple of days go by. But that's kind of the way it is. If I'm going to stream twice a week, the best I can do is 2 days between one and 3 days between another. If I try to make this one 3 and I do it on Wednesday, well, then Saturday's going to feel awfully close to that stream. So, I hope that the week's off to a good start. His protester make me feel more convinced that it is him causing the trouble. I assure you, YouTube doesn't care about me. I remember trying to file an appeal way back in 2016. Couldn't get a human save our lives. And it was all because we got a copyright strike when we did the episode that included a mailbag question about our favorite pieces from the score. And so we played a little 30-second sample and then talked about it. Pretty much classic fair use as an affirmative defense, and I don't have the deep pockets for litigation anyway. Yeah. So how's it going? Anybody have any questions? Anybody have any Tolkien-related stories to relate to us? Anybody have anything you're looking forward to in the Tolkien world? I know I'm not going to book my travel yet, but I'm going to go ahead and book my Mythmoot ticket because I forgot they actually opened registration so early this year. So I'm going to book that. I am still trying to figure out whether I can make it to Westmoot. I know a lot of people are. It'd be nice if I could. I don't know if I will, but I'm going to give it my best shot. Oh, the stream hiccuped. I swear it's just water. Really, it is. And a Carrick smile. You had 7 to 8 things today, not 6, 7 things today. Sorry. Actually, I'm no longer allowed to use that. My son told me that the great meme reset took place on New Year's Eve, and that as of New Year's Day, you're no longer allowed to say those things, which is good. That's good. Well, twice in one day. Different audiences, Katie, different audiences, except for you. Can't get rid of you even if I tried. Why would I want to, though? Rachel said as she walked by that you seem a bit punchy today. Indeed. That's probably true. It's probably true. I've been recording a lot today, so I think that's probably why I'm a little punchy. We had the hangout, and then we had a 2.5-hour recording. And then in between that and this, you will definitely get through the day without those from me. Those I shall not use. Um, those are awful. Um, and then after that stream or after that recording, which ended at something like 2:30 my time, I think I had about an hour and a half, and then Matt from Nerd of the Rings was like, "Hey, let's go and do our Tolkien Reading Day recording," and then that ended up going like over an hour because we're also catching up and talking schedule because he's going to be my next co-host. Um, for those of you listening to the show, of course, episode 400 just dropped, right? I think 400, February 15th. Yeah. So 400 just dropped. But as always, I need to build a big buffer. I'm looking at my roadmap, hence the word road. And so, for example, I have through 403 loaded and ready to go, but 404, 406, and 407 have been recorded. 405 is going to be recorded between today and Thursday. So it's been nice and busy. Dan of the Rings, in regards to this week's episode, I've read a bunch of Jane Austen, and now I notice free indirect speech. It was interesting to hear it discussed this week. Free indirect speech. What are our schedules this week? Which schedules? Katie, which schedules? What are our schedules this week? Mine's not too bad. I mean, I've had most of the heavy work. Just Thursday, I've got like 4 different Tolkien Reading Day sessions to record. Oh yeah, being busy and me having a bunch of things. That's true. Yeah, today in particular, but it's all good. I mean, excuse me. It's all good. That's how it goes. I've got a fairly light week other than that, and that's good because pretty soon, sometime starting next week, I need to roadmap and start writing the next season of the TTT, um, in order to make sure that I have time to do some of the things that I need to do in March. There's one of the 2 podcast movement conferences is in March. It'll be at South by Southwest. The following week is VO Atlanta, which as a VO artist, I should go to. I haven't been to the VO conference in about 3 years. And then when I come back from that, and it's a couple weeks to spring break for my kids, and it's like, how in the world am I going to build the cushion I need with all those events? At least after that, after the spring break, I don't have anything until Westmoot at the end of May. Sure hope I can make it to that. I think I can read along to the episodes now that you have the book in question. That always helps. And let's see. I think I missed a couple things. Thanks about the episode, by the way. It was a lot of fun. Story of Tal Omar is such a fascinating story. Will we see the return of Fandom Friday on the TTT? I have to admit, I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to line up 7 people, but one of our esteemed members of the Content Council. So, just for those of you who don't know the TTT inside and out, the Patreon that supports the TTT has a tier, one of the higher tiers, gets you on the Content Council, and that enables you to be a part of the process where I decide what I'm going to talk about. And I'm very serious about that. I always go to the Content Council before I roadmap a series and say, here's what I'm thinking. Let me get your input. So, and in fact, it was somebody in the TTT's Content Council that led me to do the 2 series worth of looks at men in Middle Earth, right? At the different races of men. Just lost the stream. It's good now. Okay. I'm not seeing any problem on my end. So that must be that's odd. Maybe Twitch is having problems too. That's a little nervous. So anyway, all that to say that one of the folks in the Content Council came up with the great idea, that if I can't get 7 people on the Fandom Fridays, that maybe what I could do is just line up 1 and then do 6 whatever's Fridays, like 6 First Stage Fridays, and then a special. Make the Fandom Fridays a special. That might be something I'll be able to do this series. So, yeah. Katie, me, and Tom Racine should go to the VO conference, and Todd. I don't know if they do professional voiceover. I know they're both tremendous actors, or at least I know. Well, no, I think Tom does, right? I know Todd does acting. I didn't know he did voice acting, but yeah, looking forward to that. Just refreshed. Yeah, always just refresh first. If there's a problem, let us know. The internet might be breaking. Yeah, I did not know that both of them did VO work. Thank you, Katie. Yeah, yeah. I don't think I've been to the VO Atlanta conference, which is the big one in the industry. I think it was 21. Might have been 22, but it was one or the other. I didn't do both. It's been a long time, so probably be looking to do that. But yeah, lots and lots of things to do, to travel to. So yeah, with Podcast Movement Evolutions, VO Atlanta, possibly TextMoot, but probably unlikely because that'll overlap with kids' spring break. But then I don't have anything until Westmoot, and then it gets crazy. Did I tell you all that the Tolkien Society of the Netherlands, Unquendor, has invited me to their Lustroomfeest? It is in June in the Netherlands. And if I go to that, I will basically fly back from that directly to Mythmoot. Then we have Comic-Con like 3 weeks after that. So it's going to be a busy year. Busy year. Maybe TextMoot. I doubt it, honestly. Probably. Oh, you're presenting there. Wow. Well, I'll attend online even if I don't attend in person. Yeah, it is a busy event here this year because I cannot miss Comic-Con. F1 Moot. Oh, the problem with F1 Moot is if it's put on by F1, it probably costs like $6,000 to attend. And then the hotels are like $2,000 a night. I was looking, I think I may have mentioned that my family said for my Christmas gift, go to a Formula One race this year. And one of my favorites in terms of the rate of the track and supposedly the atmosphere is Silverstone in England. It's the British Grand Prix. And the tickets are not terribly expensive. Like I could get that. And then, it turns out it was good. Whoa! Airplane Facts with Max is rating with a party of 39. I better get straight to the game. All right. Welcome, Raiders. Welcome, Raiders. Bum, bum, ba, dum, ba, da, dun, 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 dun. Bum, bum, ba, dum, bum, ba, dum, bum, bum. Ba-da-dum, bum, bum, ba, dum, dun, dun, dun. Da-da-dum, da-da-da-dum, bum, 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 ba-da-da-dum, ba-da-da-dum. Dun, 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 da-da-da-dum, da-da-da-dum. Sorry, that's the Las Vegas Raiders. I don't think that's what y'all are talking about. So I'm going to turn off the visible chat on stream. So that means Twitch and YouTubers are going to have to talk amongst yourselves. And let's head over to it. I'm going to grab my headphones and get into the game. We are in Karas Garadon at the moment. The game and see where we're at in the epic. It's been a lot of. You told them I am a Lord of the Rings expert. He said expert. Thank you, Max. I mean, if 10 years of doing a podcast makes me an expert, then I suppose I am. But let's be honest, 9 times out of 10, you are hearing in the episode what I learned a month before when I recorded it. So what I'm an expert at is telling you what I learned. All right. So we are in book 7, chapter 1, the very beginning of the next book of the epic. And here we are in Lothlorien, specifically in Karas Garadon. This is the fenced area of Karas Garadon. And we need to do... Oh, weird. Oh, there we go. So we need to talk to 3 people. It looks like there's somebody over here, and then over here. So let's go ahead and get down the ladder. And I'll try to show off my my expertise in lore. Katie, if you want to jump into chat, let me know what questions folks have so I can show off my expertise. I'm kidding. Welcome, first of all, to the Raiders. I really do appreciate you all stopping by. Max, thank you for bringing everyone along. I hope you're doing well. We got to get together one of these days. I'm assuming you're going to be at Comic-Con, and we definitely should chat then, but let's look at chatting before then, of course. All right. Well, look at that. Is that a swan? Is that going to be a swan? It is something. Yes, it's a swan. Now, the swans are sort of the emblem of the Telerin elves. That's the 3rd branch of the elves, right? You've got the Vanyar, who nobody ever sees anymore because they all stayed in Valinor. No, it's a Canadian goose, Katie says. I don't think it's mean enough. A Canadian goose would be giving me the finger at this point. Geese are mean. I mean, so are swans, but So the Tellerin, their sort of emblem, their animal is the swan. Their ships look like the swans. Alqualonde, Alqua is swan. In fact, the Quenya word Alqua for Alqualonde is seen in it becomes elf in Sindarin, and it's Nin in elf, which is the swan fleet. It comes from the same root as Quenya Alqua. All right, let's talk to Hurrian, not Hurin. She's not going to say Aure and Tuluva. She's going to say something else. What does she tell us?
This is a place of quiet.
This is Carolyn, the white fountain of Caras Galadhon. It is a place for quiet contemplation, so you are not welcome here. I'm sorry, that's not what she says. Where elves of Lorien are free to enjoy the sound of the water in the pool and the feel of soft breezes on the skin. Hurrian looks at Nona dismissively. Not that I'm seeing Nona nearby, but the theory is that I'm with Nona, showing her around, and she is a Dunlanding woman. And you can tell that despite Galadriel's words, not every elf is pleased to have the Dunlanding girl within the borders of Lorien. Others can admire the fountain as well, of course. Hurrian finishes with a sniff. Oh, there's Nona. She admires the delicate carving of the swan fountain. Oh no, Twitch went down. So there she is enjoying the swan fountain. Now, we need to go to the next place, so let's go do that. And anybody has a question for me with Lord of the Rings, just let me know. I'm going to jump and break my ankles here. Twitch is still finding it up for you. Good. I wonder if we're having some backbone internet problems. You know, like I mean, if YouTube is down for a few 100,000 people and Twitch is having problems, then you know it may be maybe that we're not the only ones dealing with that. All right, so let's head up. These are the flets, by the way. Flets is the common speech word for it. Westron, they're called. One is a talan, multiple or plural is taline. They are beautiful, aren't they? And that's something that the elves of Lorien didn't start doing until Amroth's time. Amroth, who, according to one version, was the son of Celeborn and Galadriel, but according to most versions of the story, no, he was the son of Amdir, the king of Lorien, who died at the Battle of the Last Alliance. But what a view that is it not? I'm just going to zoom into first person here. Oh, there's the royal one. There's the one where Celeborn and Galadriel hold court. And the very top of that is the highest point in Lorien, by the way. Didn't used to be on the top of Caern Amroth, which is outside the circle of Lorien, right? Caern Amroth being up here to the north. It used to be that was the highest flet or talon in Lorien. But it is Caras Galadhon now. All right, Anglamel.
We see so few visitors to Caras Galadhon.
I am sorry. We see so few visitors to Caras Galadhon that our hospitality is perhaps not what it should be. It must seem a very confusing place, with flets built on multiple levels of the great Meliorn. By the way, Meliorn is, of course, just the plural of a Malorn tree. Malorn singular, Meliorn plural. With winding stairs and bridges crossing the breezy gaps. Anglamel laughs, a delicate and musical sound. You catch Nona's brief scowl at the airy tones, but Anglamel does not. I have heard it said Caras Galadhon is as maze-like as the cities of the dwarves. But if this slander is true, at least our maze is above the ground, lit by the glow of the sun and cool glimmer of the stars. I would forgive any amount of confusion for those dual boons. And Nona looks out into the void between the flats and says nothing. Because she's Nona. All right, how did I get up here? Where's the ladder to go down? Did I miss the ladder? Was it on the other side? No, there's the ladder. Talk to Luithros on the Teline Galadrim. All right. Aha, okay. Now, where am I on the map? Perfect. We basically need to just follow this road to the south and go to one more flet, and we'll be done with this particular chapter in the epic story. Any lore questions in chat there, Katie? Caras Galadon endures by the grace of Galadriel. Follow the yellow leaf road. Follow the yellow leaf road. Follow, 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 follow the yellow leaf road. Okay. Is this the one I want to go up? I want to end up there, but I think the way up is this way. I think. It is a maze. A maze lit by the sun and the cool stars. If this slander is true. Oh, trust me. I'd far rather navigate the flats of Lorien. Whoa! Okay. For a minute, I thought it was a dead end. Than the caves of Moria. Boy, that place gets me lost so much. Huh. I've discovered Telain Galadhrim. Or Galadhrim, sorry, Galadhrim. And that's because, why is it Galadhrim and not Galadhrim? Because you've got the two consonants, the DH, which is pronounced like a voiced TH, so like there or then, and then the R. And so that's two consonant sounds. And that's why it's Galadhrim, not Galadhrim. Also, it's amazing. Wow, that's terrible. Nate asked, did we ever get any stories from the perspective of the elves that didn't leave Valinor? Their story's really simple. OMG Manwë. No, we really didn't get any stories from them because they don't care about the rest of us. I mean, they had to be convinced to go back to defeat Morgoth, to help with the fight against Morgoth. They're just very happy where they are.
The trees of Lothlorien
are the mightiest to be found anywhere in these, the waning years of Middle-earth. It was once not so, but the passage of time and the spreading of darkness has caused much that was once great to wither and diminish. So it would be with the elves were we to stay. Already we have stayed too long. Luithros looks sideways at Nona, but she seems not to notice. It will soon be the time of man, and who can say how that race will deal with the challenges that lie ahead. These Melian support the Telain Galadhrim, sorry. Even an elf mispronounces his words now and then. The flats on which much of the work in our city is done. Without them, little could be accomplished. I hope the same will not be said of the elves when we have departed. And Nona observes the mighty Malorn trees, but says nothing. Apparently, they did not pay the voice actors enough to speak some lines here, but look at that view. That's a pretty place. I think we were over there because we took that little ramp down to another one and then down the ladder. Amazing stuff. We do get elves who haven't been to Valinor and their stories. That makes more sense. Oh, wait, was that the question? Oh, that didn't leave Valinor. Yeah, no. Those are we don't get any stories about them. All right, so now I'm supposed to go talk to Galadriel in her garden, all the way on the far opposite side. So, is there a ladder? Can I just take a ladder? Yeah, there's a ladder over here. I don't want to have to jump and break ankles because I actually think that might be far enough down that I'd just die. All right. Yep, this way. Just a heads up that when we look at okay, sorry, keep in mind the issues are going down, of course. I never worry too much about numbers, in terms of the number of people that are here in the stream. But thank you, Katie, for that reminder. She's just reminding me that, the numbers will look a little funny because people have been kicked off and back on. It's an internet problem. A bunch of servers on the Xbox were down. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I'm going to play Return to Moria, Star Wars Oddball. Definitely. Looking forward to that. I am looking forward to that. Matt has spoken so highly of it. And really, one of the things I want to do, and the reason why I haven't gotten into it yet, is I'm actually hoping that I can line up a time for Matt to be a part of that, sort of intro me to the game. Never going to have time for it. We're doing our run soon. It's a 5-episode run with the Questions After Nightfall and 4 episodes on the Hunt for the Ring. I'm hopeful that... Well, wait a minute. How did I... Oh, that's right. It's all walled. Where's the entrance to her garden? Whoa, not there. Not there. All right, let's get into her garden here. Wow, that does not sound right. That sounds like a terrible, terrible euphemism. All right. Los Dirith, I hereby banish your thoughts, your terrible evil thoughts. Look at that, Galadriel's garden. That is something. Oh, I love that the waterfall comes in. You got the terraces. This is great. Not you, me. I'm never going to have time for it. Oh, yeah. No. Yeah, what a view this is, huh? All right, let's go down and talk to Galadriel. The game doesn't really have a first-person mode, but you can zoom your camera all the way in to be first person. So I just find that pretty useless for combat.
I hope you enjoyed
your respite, Hilbern. It brings me sadness to tell you it must be ended. Along with your life. Just kidding. I spoke to you once of the danger that awaited our mutual friends on their road, Hilbern. Their circumstances are hidden to me, but I have seen enough in my mirror to worry. Glad you said it sounds like a euphemism instead of me. Yeah, well, you know. It's nuclear Galadriel. Yeah, absolutely. Those few of the wise who know of their errand have known a simple truth since they departed. As they move further south, they move closer to a point of decision they can delay, but not avoid. They cannot leave the great river without making this decision. Do they continue south and east to Mordor, or do they pass through the cities of men and thereby take a longer road to the fire? The ring-bearer must go to Mordor, but who will choose to go with him? I fear for the company, Hilbern. Peer into my mirror and see if the visions for you are as troubling as they are for Galadriel. Ooh, we get to do a session play. So again, for those of you not familiar with the game, session play actually means you're not you. You get to play as a different character at a different time and place. And in this case, we're playing as Frodo Baggins at the point of decision. I did not find the statue of Amroth in Nimmerdale. That was the first thing you heard, Horn, was my naughty euphemism.
We always knew that the Company of the Ring would face the difficult decision of what road to take. We simply did not know how soon.
Oh, it's only a 30-second boost. I thought it was like find the path and it was a toggle. It's not. All right. Quick sting is, and then throw a rock, which is slightly longer cooldown. And then there's put on the ring, which makes me invisible. Great. So I don't have a lot to choose from, but that's probably okay. I can't see what I'm supposed to do here because there we go. Talk to Aragorn on Parth Galen. Look at that. Oh, here we are. Before I talk to him, can I show you? This is Parth Galen. This is next to Nen Hithoil. That's the lake here. And look to our north. The Argonath, facing north up the River Anduin at the entrance to Lake. You wouldn't say Lake Nen Hithoil because Nen is a water. So it's a lake. So here we are at the lake. We can't. Oh, there it is. That's the that's Tol Brandir. That's the isle that you can't get onto. Just fantastic. And yes, Stan, I am Frodo right now. That's what I love about session play. It gives you a chance to see the story from other perspectives. And yeah, I'm Frodo now. It's pretty wild. I do love session play. And look at this. Hello, Sam. I'm glad you're here with me, in the middle of all things. Merry, Pippin, you're useless, but you won't be in the future. Boromir, I don't trust you. Gimli, my good friend. Legolas, who never speaks a word to me in the book. The Lord of the Rings, except it's all the dialogue that Legolas says to Frodo. The end. Well, Frodo, the choice is upon us at last. In Rivendell, you were appointed the bearer of a great burden, and this company has escorted you through the wilderness, beneath the mountains, and along the great river. All of us have done so in friendship and with an understanding of the errand's great need. But now the path splits. Boromir has said from the beginning that his road leads to Minas Tirith, and the war against the shadow that must surely be coming. But that way is not the way to the fire, and it is to the fire that your burden must be carried. What is the fate of this company? Do we go to Boromir's city, to Minas Tirith, or do we cross the river and make for the land of shadow? What should we do? Does no one wish to speak? Well, Frodo, you are the bearer, and you must choose your own way. I cannot advise you in this. What is your decision, Frodo? What is your favorite color? Sorry. I'm not sure, Nate, whether he might not speak to Frodo very much. It's incredibly kind of silly, but I'd have to double check. I don't think he does. You need time to decide. I understand. It is no easy decision. None of these have been easy decisions. If only Gandalf were here. I've tried to play his part as best I can, but I am not he, and the ways of wisdom are shut to me. I'm sorry I cannot help you with this decision, Frodo, but it is yours to make, and I do not want to sway your mind one way or the other. And now I get to walk northwest of Parthgalen so I may be alone with my thoughts. You shall have an hour, Frodo, and we will leave you alone to decide. We will stay here. You may walk as you will, but do not stray out of call. There are orcs about. So I'm supposed to walk northwest, so probably, this way. Oh. Thoughts of Elrond rise unbidden in your mind. Oh, cool. We'll get like little visions and things. The ring you bear is the one, the ruling ring sought by Sauron above all else. The evil he could work with it would be incurable. It must be destroyed. There are those who would use the ring and not destroy it. The temptation to use the ring, even for good, is overwhelming. That is its power and its danger. The road to the fire is dangerous, but it is the only choice we can risk. I do love the way they do these session plays. I mean, how many of you were here for the one where I got to be one of the soldiers accompanying Isildur up to the hill of Erech, where we received the oath of the hillmen, and then we come back to them afterwards and curse them. Oh, what a great session play. The thoughts of Galadriel rise unbidden in your mind. Some rings there are that Sauron never touched, and they were not used for evil. They were used for growth and prosperity, and much beauty was wrought with these. The 3 elven rings belong to this worthwhile group. You remember the look of sadness on Galadriel's beautiful face when she spoke of this in Lothlorien. If you fail in your quest, Frodo Baggins, the workings of the 3 will be laid bare before Sauron, and he will control all. But if you should succeed, even then there will be little happiness for elves. We will diminish, and all that was wrought with the 3 shall fade. No choice is free from sadness for my people, Frodo. But Galadriel of Lorien would have happen what should happen. Even should it mean all her good works in this Middle-earth disappear and are forgotten. Goodbye, Frodo. I'm so sorry that we're having internet problems because this is such a great session play. I mean, what a part of the story this is. And Katie, I don't think I've done this before because remember, I Valared from about level 75 to I think 105 for one character, 120 for another, so I skipped all of this. I've never experienced it yet. Oh, thoughts of Gandalf rise unbidden in your mind. I was hoping he'd come soon. Few know the inner strength of hobbits as I do, Frodo Baggins. Many, even among the wise, would think this task too much for you. But I have seen the bravery of a Baggins when put to the test, and I know you will do what you must. The memory of Gandalf's warm smile fills you with a deep regret. Yes, there is sadness on any difficult road. You must prepare for more if you are to face what must lie ahead. Your friends are dear to you, but you must be prepared for this truth, Frodo Baggins. Some of them may not return from this quest. If that is why you delay, the quest is already lost. You must decide, Frodo. Thoughts of Bilbo rise unbidden in your mind. Anything I would do different from Frodo here if I had the chance? I doubt it. I really doubt it. I mean, he's forced to, and it's again, it's a Spabimi moment, right? She'll prove but mine instrument. This is where an evil act, in this case, the attempt of Boromir to get the ring, drives Frodo to do the thing that he must do and that he must do now. Oh, Frodo, my lad, what have we gotten ourselves into? Trouble and bother. Your memory of the old hobbit makes you smile in spite of yourself, and you realize how badly you miss him. Something has to be done, Frodo. All these important people with their endless meetings and councils, weighing important matters, when all it needs is the application of some good hobbit sense. You at least need to go to Mordor, Frodo, my boy. Isn't that so? As long as you have the ring, it is your burden to bear, as it was mine. Merry and Pippin and they would be fine. The others would watch for them. If you bear the ring away, as it is your task to do, our friends will be in less danger. It will not be easy, Frodo, my boy, but it would be for the best. As long as our friends accompany you, their lives are in danger. You don't want that. Best to go alone to Mordor. Aragorn and Boromir are strong men. They will take care of our friends. Gimli and Legolas will watch out for them as well. Sam will not understand, but in time he may forgive you. What did Elrond say in Rivendell? That it was perilous to study the arts of the enemy as Saruman did? That must be because they can corrupt even the purest of hearts, no matter its intention at the outset. Oh boy, it's this guy. It's Boromir. What are we going to do? I think this is to show that you can't kill him. You can't possibly kill him. Frodo, there you are. I was worried about you. I know you said you wanted to be alone, Frodo, but you're simply too important to go wandering alone. If Aragorn is correct in his guess, it means the orcs have already crossed the river. They could be in the woods even now. May I stay and speak, now that I have found you? Would I stop you even if I could? Back at camp, everything is endless arguments about where we should go. But you and I could decide much easier. With two, it need not be a tumult of voices. Yes, you hear the wisdom in it. I'm glad, Frodo. I had feared you would not wish to speak to me, but it lightens my heart to know that you respect the wisdom of Gondor. For Gondor is where the greatest strength of men can be found, and it is where the Dark Lord's gaze is most drawn. If you were to come to Minas Tirith with me, we could protect Gondor. What do you say, Frodo? No? Why do you resist the course of wisdom? These elves and wizards speak only of hiding and sneaking, and they would have us destroy the very thing we need to defeat Sauron. Why do you listen to them and not to me? It is my people who will pay the price for the failure of this foolhardy errand. My people will pay, not yours, hiding far away in some hidden dell where the enemy will never find them, if he even thinks to look. But he looks at Gondor. Yes, he does. He will kill its people, and they will look to me and ask why I was not able to protect them. And I will say I had this chance, and I let it slip away. I know it is a heavy burden for you, Frodo. You are so small and weak. What if the ring had come to a man, a strong man of Gondor? Perhaps you could lend me the ring. Let me use it to save my people. And then I will give it back. How can you say that? You have the very thing we need to defeat the Dark Lord, but you refuse to use it. You run knowingly to your death, and you bring with you the only hope we ever had of surviving this war. The ring should be mine. Give it to me. Give it to me, you foolish halfling. You have no right to it. If you will not give it to me, I will take it. I will take it by force. Wait, what? Where did you go? Cursed halfling! Okay, this is really cool session play. Bilbo's still here. Run, Frodo! Up the steps! There is only death in the void. Boromir may not be able to see you, Frodo, but other things might. Frodo, you do not know your danger. Your heart is gripped with a sudden feeling of terror. You sense a malevolent presence, searching. Sauron senses the ring. Take it off! Fool! Take it off! Take off the ring! You managed to remove the ring, and now you know what you must do. The terror of your recent experience is still with you, but you conjure the kindly face of Gandalf from your memories to try and fight back the dread. You can almost hear his voice as clearly as when he spoke to you thusly in the library at Rivendell. There are a great many dangers facing Middle-earth, Frodo. Your ring is responsible, even indirectly, for all of them. The orcs of the Misty Mountains stir, and Lorien is threatened with fire. The horsemen of Rohan fight back the wolves of Isengard. Corsairs put to sea from Harad, and endless armies march from the east. The Mountain of Fire is aflame, and the Dark Lord's forces are in motion. There are men who stand against him, men like Boromir, son of the Steward of Gondor, and your companion. He and the men like him will fight for as long as they are able. When all is finished, it seems to me, they will be simply men. And for how long can men stand against such evil? No, Frodo, I fear that when all is reckoned, it will come down to one hobbit after all, and the strength he himself can bring to bear. Perhaps that is always the way it was meant to be. You know what to do, Frodo. I do know what to do. And that's the end of the instance. Wow. Wow. I've never gotten to experience that instance before. That was fantastic. Oh man, that was good. And that's Gandalf coming to him is very much the kind of thing that, the text intimates that, right? I mean, it's very clearly Gandalf's voice that tells him to take it off, right? He's confused as to whether that other voice is himself or Sauron. What is he? Verily, I come to thee. But he's very clear who the other voice is. He just doesn't believe that it's Gandalf since Gandalf's dead.
This is one possibility among many.
You tell Galadriel what you saw within her mirror, and a look of sadness crosses her face. The mirror shows many things, Hilbern, and not all of them come to pass. But this is one possibility among many, and it is a troubling one to be certain. They may have need of your help. I want you to travel south along the river Anduin, Hilbern, and to see what has befallen our mutual friends. None of the visions I have seen in the waters give me any hope that they have avoided the dangers into which they walk. If you could aid them in even the smallest way, it may be enough. Nona should go with you, if she still desires to do so. I've known her for just a short time, but I do not think she wishes for anything but to adventure with you. Let her be an aid to you on a dangerous road. Let me check chat real quick before I continue. Yeah, Boomsday device. To gaze on the Argonath, and this does the best job of it. So many things. All right.
You will need a guide
to bring you to the falls of Raros. But few of my people ever travel that far. No, do not shake your head in frustration. There is a guide who will suffice. His name is Corodan. He is the elder brother of Sigileth. Galadriel smiles sadly. Yes, I see you remember our fierce champion. Without her twin knives and the skill with which she wielded them, the efforts of the Golden Host might have come to naught. Her death in the Battle of the Tower is cause for grief in all who knew her. You will find her brother is cut from similar cloth, but if Corodan shares her ability, he does not share her temperament. Find him on Telain Nedwil, on the eastern side of Carasgarathon, and tell him you need him as a guide along the Anduin. He is not called Riverwalker for naught. He is more familiar with the lands through which the Anduin flows than any elf in Lorien. Catching up on chat. Storytelling so dang much. Elizabeth agrees. Katie, again, if you're going to show the experience of Galadriel's mirror and the tale of the Fellowship, 100%. Statues on the other side of the stream. Thank you. Behind Galadriel. Oh, that's them. Okay. Oh. Sam, I would expect it if it's Amroth and Nimmerdale, I would have expected them to be holding a debate or for him to be trying to swim. But it's cute. All right. And I don't get Mithril to go talk to Corodan. I got to actually go talk to him myself. I still think every good rom-com should have a debate. There they held long debate before plighting their troth. And also, Galadriel showed that a really talented elf can, in fact, swim across the entirety of the ocean. So why couldn't Amroth get to Nimmerdale? I kid. Oh, wait, he's up there. Okay. Wow. I'm getting the wows. How could we not bring up the swimming? How could we not bring up the swimming when Amroth can't even get through the Bay of Belfalas without losing it, All right. Why does it seem to suggest that I need to go there? Is there another up? Yeah, there's another up. There's Corodan.
The lady has spoken to me
Tell me about this, Hilbern.
and I
would refuse her nothing. But there is another reason I would help you. Corodan looks at you, his eyes shining with a curious look of gratitude. You were a friend to my sister Sigileth in Mirkwood. When the Hidden Guard and the Golden Host journeyed to the fastness of Dol Guldur, you fought alongside Sigileth. How many times did you save her life? Was she yours? I do not know, but I'm certain it was more than one. I wish that the tides of fate had swept the two of you together during that final assault on the tower, rather than apart. For had the two of you been together on the stairs, perhaps she would have returned from Mirkwood. But it was not meant to be. That is the way of things. I would be honored to accompany you south along the Anduin. Sigileth's friends are mine as well. We will need supplies, boats and lembas and paddles, and rope and blindfolds, all the things that a good Lothlorien elf needs. Sorry. Sorry. I mean, how can you not go there when they blindfold y'all when they get there, and then you need paddles, and they also have to throw rope into the boats, too? Garden of Galadriel, indeed. I would be honored to accompany you. Speak to Bordrist and... how in the world do I pronounce that one? Bordrist and Feingalf about acquiring such things as we will need. I'm sorry. Katie's giving me so much grief. Bordrist will be on Tellain Galadhrim, and Feingalf will be near the surrounding hedge beneath Tellain Gloroloth, not far from the entrance to Caras Galadhon. All right, so where are they? And of course, they're like opposite of where I am. Of course they are. Why, you cried? Okay, so I need to go this way. Basically follow that road straight ahead for a while. You know what? It's peaceful around here. Let me get on a horse. I'm getting a lot of... Oh, it's Corodan. I still don't know why you cried, though. I also don't have a clue as to how Sigileth ends up... Spoilers, you know, why we're able to talk to her. Oh, with the glade with the Ent. Yeah. Do I go down that road? I think so, yep. Hope the horse has good ankles. Ow! Oh, there's Feingalf.
The Lady Galadriel is wise to send Corridon as your guide.
You need a boat for navigating the Anduin? Yes, I will provide one and paddles beside. How many will be going with you? You tell Feingalf the composition of your party, and she nods. The Lady Galadriel is wise to send Corridon with you. He's called the River Walker, you know. And it is a name truly given. He knows the lands on either side of Anduin better than any elf I know. Perished in Dol Guldur. We were not close, she and I, for she had a temper unlike anyone else, and to me she was always sharp and stern. It is a shame what happened to her even so. I am certain she did great damage to her enemies before she fell, and that must be a consolation to Corridon in his grief. The boat and the paddles will be ready when the time comes for your departure, Hilbern. All right, so we just follow... Where's... Oh, okay. Up this way. Yeah, to the main... Yeah, to this one. Okay. Might not be wise to go up this with a horse. Like, I have a feeling this is probably going to lead to my death, so let's just walk. Whew! I almost fell off anyway. That little narrow gap makes my vertigo kick in. I practiced riding my war steed up these? You're insane. You're insane. That little narrow place was like, no. That's like people who like sit with their feet dangling off of Glacier Point in Yosemite. Like, you're out of your mind. All right. I will learn. Corridon is the best example of LotRO being a reigning champion of long-term threads. Okay. Bordrist.
I will give you enough lembas.
You are preparing for a journey down the Anduin. You have come to the correct elf, Hilbern. I will supply you with enough lembas and other goods to make such a journey comfortably. Now, traveling by boat will require to disembark occasionally. There is a portageway you will need to take around the rapids of Sarngebir. Do not be so foolish as to traverse those in the boats. And of course, you will need to beach them before you reach the falls of Raros. It is a long climb down the cliff face, but I have heard there was a way that was used of old. I will give you enough lembas and other foodstuffs for 2 weeks. Corodan can cover that distance in 5 or 6 days. That should suffice. Namarie. And I still can't, port to... Man, they're making this tough. Isn't there a ladder down, though? I figured this out the last time, wasn't there? There's a ladder up. There's the ladder down. For a minute, I thought I'd have to jump. Woo! No, I fell. Okay. Corodan greater than Legolas. That's not hard. Like I said, Legolas kind of all the way on the other side. Good heavens, man. LotRO will never lose the stigma of making you go out of your way to do things. I mean, it's fine. I get to ride through Karas Galadon. It's not like it's an ugly place. It's not like Angmar, or Mordor, where you're just like, ugh, please don't make me ride through here. Lintwen. You need lembas, you go see that one guy. You need a lint brush, you see Lintwen. Okay. Sorry, not sorry. So it looks like that's the ladder we need to take up. Turn to Corodan. Oh, that's right. He's on the second level up.
The last time I traveled south, orcs were gathering on the river bank.
You've done as I asked. Good. The most important step of a journey occurs before you even leave home. The preparations for your departure. Make sure your weapons are cleaned and ready. The last time I traveled south, which was some weeks ago, orcs were gathering on the far shore of Anduin. We may need to face them. Unfortunately, I lent my bow to Fimloth at Halderith on my return from that journey. Perhaps we can stop by her encampment when we depart, and I can recover my bow from her. I will use a spare until then. There is nothing quite like your own familiar weapons, is there? Sigileth spoke often of her knives, Lanchigil and Egdas-Sigil, and I feel the same way about my bow, though it has no name. My sister was always better with names. But now you should return to the House of Celeborn. We're almost ready to leave. Once again, no port to the House of Celeborn. The most important step of the journey is doing what I tell you to do. Yeah, that is... that's about right. All right. No wonder elves are so skinny. Yeah, seriously. You could eat 6,000 calories a day and you'd still lose weight in this place. Oh, excuse me. Pardonnez-moi. Pardonnez-moi. Sorry, that was my very bad Miss Piggy impression. Pardonnez-moi. I can't do her at all. Pardonnez-moi. Too deep. Oh, well. I'm going to stop trying. That's just my impression of a really bad French accent. I was wondering why Find the Path wasn't on. I realized anytime you come out of session play, those toggles are off. You have to start back up again. All right. We're a chill bunch. Internet's being a total Feanor. Just arrived back to the States. Wow. Have I sassed an NPC yet? I don't know. Do you count Katie as an NPC? I'm kidding. I told Boromir no. I don't know if that's sass or not.
Wadu's sword is thirsty for more adventure.
I followed you here on the behest of a dream, Hilbern. I will follow you wherever our road leads. If our adventure ended today, I would already have quite a tale to tell Suvulk on my return. I cannot imagine what awaits us, but it will only add to the record of our deeds. Wadu's sword is thirsty for more adventure as well. If we come across more Easterlings or their fell ally as we did in the swamps, I will be more ready than I was the last time.
This land of elves is a long way from Edithwaite.
A
long way from my people.
It is. I'm grateful for the healing arts of Galadriel and her people, and for the lady's willingness for me to see her city. But there is something strange about this place, and I must tell you the truth. It is no place for me. I want my feet upon the ground and my foes in front of me. This land of elves is a long way from Enedwaith, a long way from my people. I'm ready to depart, Hilbern. Perhaps things will feel more familiar to me as we journey south along the river. Aha! So we are... Okay, yeah, we're in the Thingglad region again, like we were before. Okay, cool.
I lent my favorite bow to Fimloth, and now she has lost it.
Fimloth. What in the world is wrong with you? Why would you do that? I'm not pleased about this, Hilbern. I lent Fimloth my favorite bow to use while I remained in Lothlorien, and now she has lost it. Corodan lowers his voice and turns to his apologetic friend. No, Fimloth, I am not upset. If those orcs were as numerous as you report, you were right to flee. A bow is a bow, and the lives of my friends come first. I will search the woods of Thingglad for the orc that picked it up as you escaped. Are you of a mind to join the hunt, Hilbern? Your Dunlending friend has already agreed to fight the orcs with me as well. Perhaps we can make a game of it. The first of us to find my lost bow will be the victor, but I shall be the happiest of all to have the bow back in my hands. All right. Yeah, I think we have time. It's only 5 after 7. So where are we going? Where are we going? All right. Basically out of here is really where we're going. Wow, we haven't got much. We just got 5 morale potions and 5 power potions. Power potions are pretty much useless. And some runes, which we'll use right now to apply to my weapon. Quick shot needs a boost. Okay. Just check. Can I cover applying runes real quick? So for those who've not seen, let me go grab another rune real fast. A rune pack out of legendary items here. Give me a minute while it retrieves my stuff. All right. Traceries, tracery tokens, enhancement runes. I may not have any of the right level, though. I don't have any of the right level. Maybe if I check the legendary items track. Okay, sealed tracery. That's unfortunate. All right. So that's going to give me... So when you look at your legendaries, you get one of these, right? This is your heraldic tracery. You eventually will get 2 words of power, and then I think eventually 4 or 5 words of mastery, and a couple of words of craft. So each of these has different deals. Like your heraldic tracery gives you a boost to your primary stats, in this case agility and vitality, and I've added the physical mastery rating. Others give you things like single target damage or critical attack damage or damage over time boosts, whereas your individual words of mastery are about specific skills to your class. So in my case, things like rain of arrows or quick shot. And then the word of craft, I should say, as opposed to the word of mastery. The word of craft can give you boosts to things that you want, like critical rating or tactical mastery or something like that. But they don't come at a maxed out level. So you see here, I'll spend some mithril to give you the idea. But you can see that at level 73, my rain of arrows damage tracery gives me plus 35% damage and physical mastery rating of plus 88. Now, if I spend some mithril equivalent, I could just draw the runes on there. I'm out of runes. So let's pretend I'm putting a rune on there, and I'll do 2 levels worth. You'll see that bumps then to 93 physical mastery. It's not very much, especially at these lower levels, like 79, 80. I'm not going to get huge jumps. If I go onto my character that's at like 153, 154, you'll see much higher numbers. but eventually you cap out. You'll see here I can't even spend mithril to increase that because it's at the cap of 100. When I get to level 81, I'll be able to reforge my legendaries, and that cap will go up even higher. And I might get an extra slot. I don't remember. But yeah, your traceries are these things, and the runes are the things that boost the level of the traceries. So if I dropped 5 runes onto the quick shot damage, that would go from 76 to 81. You will see 4 different levels of runes. There's the basic, and then there's, I forget what the names are, but basically they're different colors. And they go, let's see, if I show you the traceries follow the same rules. So I'll show you that idea. Yeah. So your purple, and then you get your blue, and then you get your yellow. There's also just plain, right? So here you can see the idea is +1. These are enhancement runes +1. Those would only add a single level to the tracery. Enhancement runes +2, add +2, and then there's +3. I don't have any of the +4s, but there are, I believe, +4s. I know there are for traceries. I don't know if there are for runes. I may be wrong about that. All right. Question: when I do usually upload podcast episodes, I'm behind on that. The objective was to try to get caught up through the end of season 9 at the very least, and we will get. Eventually, I'll have the workflow set up to where when Jordan gives me the final audio episode, I can send it to Yonatan and he can create a video and upload it. Right now, YouTube is behind. We'll catch up with that before the off season. TTT goes up on time, but yeah, PPP. I don't know where we're at on that, but it's pretty far back. All right, let's go kill some orc. Let's go hunt some orc. All right, let's go. Let's use our Passage of Foes. Skirmishers. Of course, they're going to be gray. They don't even want to fight with me. See where another batch might be. Yeah, YouTube is something that we definitely want to do a better job with, and it was a little bit of a challenge to get it going. During our off, we will get caught up. There we go, and that should do it. And now we can port back to Cordodan.
You did
not find the bow? Nona and I did not either. The orc that seized it must have already left this area. Pity, this spare bow does not fire as accurately as my other did. I am still a deadly shot, Hilbern. Do not worry on that score. Did you know how dangerous Nona is in combat? I did not think the Dunlendings were more than barbaric hill-dwelling men, but she is a deadly warrior indeed. I underestimated her. Will not do so again. If we are surprised by orcs as we journey further along the Anduin, I will be glad to have her along.
Whatever orc took the bow must have fled the area.
You did not find Corridan's bow. We did not either. He seemed surprised, but I was not. Whatever orc took the bow must have known an elf would come looking for it and fled the area. This orc is lucky it did, for its hunters numbered 3. River Hobbit, Ukruth, and Elf. Flight alone could have saved it. I'm sorry Corridan does not have his favorite bow, but I still enjoyed the hunt. Do you think you can humor me on one count, Hilbern? I understand we must hurry, but this should not take long.
Let us take a detour to Stonewall.
When we were last
so
in
we
this
can find
region,
Horn.
I was wounded in the swamp, and you brought me to the nearby outpost of the Horse Lords. I was a wounded enemy to everyone there, save one, the Rohirrim man called Horn. He spoke on my behalf, and when you suggested I be taken to the Elfwoods for healing, you interrupt Nona at this point and tell her it was actually Horn's idea. A confused look crosses her face. Really? Well, that is one more thing for which I should thank him. And that is what I want, Hilbern. A brief detour to the outpost of Stangard so I can give him my thanks. Perhaps you can have him meet me here. I do not think I would be welcome once again within their walls. All right. I'm going to take the stable master to Stangard.
Maid of honor.
Talk to Afich, and then go from there. Hopefully we'll be able to wrap up pretty soon. I'm pretty impressed with the story tonight. This has been a really fun one. Ah, then there's Afich.
You were looking for
Oh,
Horn.
it's you. Still
Good.
traveling with unsavory types, are you? You're looking for Horn? Good. Take him and be gone. You'll find him up the hill. Wow. What did he do? Why do they not like him?
How is the Dunlending girl?
I did not think
Did
to
she
see you
survive?
again, Hilbern. How is the Dunlending girl? Did she survive? You tell Horn that the healing arts of Galadriel were sufficient, and that Nona has come to Thinglad, and wishes to thank him in person for his kind words and actions. Oh, I see. I'm glad. Horn seems conflicted about something, and when you ask him if everything is all right, he sighs heavily. It seems there is no place for me anymore, Hilbern. I am no longer welcome in Stangard. My fellows feel that I have been somehow tainted by stepping foot within the Elfwoods, and by speaking on behalf of a Dunlending. Well, they no longer trust me. They want me to leave by sunrise tomorrow. You ask if there's anything you can do to help. Well, I do not have many possessions. If you bring me my harp and my writing supplies, I will be ready to go. My harp is in the tavern, and my writing supplies are in Wada's house, where I have been staying. Is this Wada's house right here? That's Bitterstein's house. That's not going to be Wada's house. That's the mead hall. Stanric's house. Wait, is the mead hall the tavern? No, the mead hall's not the tavern. Mead hall's the mead hall. Are these houses down here? I can't go in that one. Supplier's home. Wada's home. There we go. That's where his writing supplies will be. Okay, and then go to the Stangard Tavern. See if the map shows us where that is. Oh, yeah. Way down the hill. Okay. Courtesy of your greetings have somewhat lessened of late, Stangard. Yeah, the Rohirric soundtrack is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Whee! Is that the tavern? That's the tavern. Oh, there's a bard here. Hello, bard.
Your aid is welcome, friend.
You can buy instruments here. Collected Horn's harp. I am going to port there because I'm lazy.
I am not welcome in Stangard. Where can I go?
Thank you for bringing me these. I'm not welcome in Stangard, but where can I go? By order of Theoden King, I am not to return to Rohan until my term of service in Stangard is finished. Where are you traveling, Hilbern? Could you use another companion on the road? I do not wish to intrude, but I believe my place is with you, and with the Dunlending girl for whom I gave up. Well, it was no life I gave up. I only did what was right, though my fellows failed to see it. You tell Horn that he is welcome to travel with you as far as he will. Thank you, Hilbern. I owe you a great deal for this. An aimless life would ill suit me. Your goals are now mine, and the dangers you face, I will face as well. All right, let's port to Nona.
This confirms what I suspected about the Horse Lords. Cruel even to their own.
You tell Nona that Horn has been cast out of Stangard and is no longer welcome there. This confirms all I ever suspected about the Horse Lords, Hilbern. They are cruel even to their own and are not deserving of our sympathies. I will speak with Horn, thank him for his words on my behalf, and give him my sorrow that he has suffered for me. But I will also tell him that he is now better off and need shed no tears for his lost fellows. We'll be ready to leave when Coradan says we should leave. Speak with him when you're ready to go. Katie says she remembers the time when I wouldn't go off-road. That's not true. Leave the jackals alone. I don't get that. Oh, the jackals from, from the quest we were doing. Yeah, we're making a wide berth around the ruffians. But aggroing. Yeah. You tend to aggro way too many, though. You get yourself killed by giant bugs.
A
band of companions grows. A Dunlending girl, a Rohirrim man, an elf, and a halfling. Sounds like a joke, does it not?
We will still fit in the one boat,
but it will not be comfortable. I do not think we should recruit any more companions, Hilbern, unless you fancy swimming alongside the boat. Are you ready to continue our journey?
Let us go to the boat
together. I want to have a good seat and a comfortable place to rest my arm as we paddle. Oh, I didn't know it was going to
I have journeyed on the great river often, and know its swirls and eddies like no other elf. The river Anduin is as familiar to me as my own shadow.
Oh, it's an instance.
But it is still a journey of some days. We must stop here for the night.
We will leave in the morning at first light. It is not good to travel further south on Anduin at night, unless the need is considerable. The waters become treacherous the nearer you get to San Gebir. I can't save in the middle of an instance, so I do have to finish the instance. Let us rejoin our companions, Hilbern. It is a good fire, and built quickly, Horn. The Elf Queen was right to send this guide with us, Hilbern. He knows the waters and how to keep a boat afloat, which is more than the daughter of Suvulk knows. Were up to me, I would lead us south on dry land with springy turf underfoot and no fear of foundering. Nona lowers her voice, a rare event for the Dunlending woman. The boat is not large enough to keep us from speaking, Hilbern. But as you saw, this horse lord managed to avoid addressing me in any way once we were on the river. If he has a grievance with me, tell him to air it so I may respond appropriately, with words or with Wadu's sword. I've become tired of his ability to look all around him and not in my direction, whichever direction that happens to be. You are fortunate to have friends among the elves, Hilbern. I would not want to make this journey without a guide, and Coradan appears to know what he's doing. But it is not seemly for a man of Rohan to mingle with elves, as you saw in Stangard. Of his kind, my people have little to say but this, long-lived and dangerous. They have more to say of the folk of Dunland, but none of it is kind, and I will not disturb the girl's ears with any of it. I regret Nona's ill welcome at Stangard when she had need of it, though I understand its root. Her people and mine have a long and unhappy history. I have no quarrel with her personally, but our shared friends and duties make us allies, nothing more than that. For now. We have some time before we should begin the night watches, Hilbern. Would you find some tale-telling agreeable? I find that the weaving of a good story among companions around a fire can be a pleasant way to pass the time. Have a seat and listen, Hilbern. Stay a while and listen. Sorry. I will begin. Perhaps our companions will have a tale to share as well. First one to get the reference. I want to see if anybody gets that. My sister Sigileth stayed in Lorien for long years, but not in idleness. My skill was with the bow, but hers was with knives. She made them herself, and each was deadlier than the last. Nobody got the reference. Stay a while and listen. I returned from a journey once, convinced I had become the greatest of archers. Is that so? I wager you cannot hit this wooden target from 50 paces. I accepted and strode 50 paces. When I turned to fire, I saw that my sister was right. She had hewn the target at its base, and it had fallen into the grass. We laughed and laughed. That is my tale. Do you have one to share, Hilbern? I will speak of the fords of Ison. I would be pleased to hear this tale, and I'm sure our companions would be as well. I've heard little of what goes on beyond the mountains. You speak of fighting alongside Prince Theodred, the fords of Ison. Rohirrim, our foes lie before us. Send them back to Saruman. You speak of his valiant last stand and of Morflax's death at the hands of Elfhelm. After a time, you come to the end of your story. I shall go next. My tale concerns King Fengel of Rohan, the grandfather of Theoden King. It is a sad tale, given the happenings of late, but you may find it interesting. King Fengel came to the throne when he was very young, and he ruled for 50 years. Though long, his rule was ill-starred. He was prone to greed and made many enemies. In the last winter of his reign, he was hunting north of the Entwade on a cold afternoon. An elderly woman stumbled into his camp. She was lost and hungry. "A scrap of bread, if you please, my mighty lord. I'm lost and cold and hungry." You, crone, to beg from the crown. If you seek warm food in your belly, find some churl whose bed lies unwarmed. Or find some game, kill it yourself. King Fengel threw his own dagger at her feet and sent her away into the dark night. This is the kindness of the horse lords, is it? Horn did say that Fengel was a foolish king. He did say that, and I say he spoke true, but it does not seem an uncommon trait among the horse lords. The king's men were horrified, and they searched for the woman. They found her at dawn, frozen to death at the foot of a tall boulder, the king's dagger still in her hand. She had carved a curse into the face of the stone, along with her name, Wirgenda. This is what she carved into the stone. "Feckless Fengel, fool, I name thee. Grief shall be the get of thy greed. No lord of your line shall long live. Upon thy seat no son shall settle. Kin and kingdom your craving hath killed, until the might of the mark is mended. Wirgenda." Horn sighs heavily and continues. King Fengel was furious, and he ordered Wirgenda's body burned and the stone destroyed. But no man of his company could move her, and every hammer and mattock they set to the stone shattered on contact. King Fengel himself assailed the stone with his sword until the blade shattered, and a shard pierced his thigh. The wound festered, and King Fengel died of poisoned blood on the first day of spring. Many in Rohan thought that the curse was ended, but now that Prince Theodred is gone. Well, that is the end of the tale for now. That was fantastic writing. I mean, glorious way you would expect a Rohirric curse to be. That was great. Katie's like, oh, look, a kindred spirit for Alan's alliteration. All right. I do not have the flowery words or turns of phrase that Corridan and this man Horn have, Hilbern. I write my tale in the height of my enemies, with Wadu's sword as my quill. I have no story to tell. Everyone has a story, Nona. What is the origin of the sword you bear? The horse motif is not of your people. The sword came to my brother Wadu. He used it to slay a great beast. What was this beast? A large animal of some kind, a bear? It was a great Gwibir, the mighty dragon spawn of the mountains. Can it be? I know of no such creature. There is much about my land and people you do not know. That may be so, Nona. I'm sorry if I have offended you. Your brother must have been a great man to defeat such a foe. He was. I think that is enough tale spinning for one night, Hilbern. I will take the first watch, and I will wake you when it is your turn. We will set out again at first light. We will leave at first light. For now, you should get some rest. In the morning, we will continue our journey down the Anduin.
Behold, the Argonath, the pillars of the kings.
Wow. I'm so short, the leaves are driving me nuts. Stop with the leaves already. Here, I'll zoom in. Maybe that'll help. Look at that. The Argonath. Behold, the Argonath. All right. Talk to Horn. Oh, there's a Mordor orc. Let's kill him. Orc Slayer of the East Emnet. I was hoping to get to a town or something, but it looks like that's going to have to wait, probably.
They are not my kings.
They are not my
But there
kings,
is still something
majestic
about the
twin statues of the Argonath. Many songs have been sung about the men in whose likenesses they are carved, and I know most of them by heart. I will not sing them now. There's too much we must do here.
Friends of yours came this way. Friends bearing the burden of some malice.
Horn speaks quietly, for what he has to say is meant for your ears alone. We spoke of a great many things on the boat, and I do not begrudge you for speaking in generalities, but you told me enough to know your errand here is important. Friends of yours came this way. Friends bearing a burden of some malice. Whatever they carried, it was sought by orcs, and perhaps others as well. We need to find what happened to these friends of yours, and if their burden has been lost. Horn raises his voice to include the Rohirrim man standing nearby. This man saw our boat drifting down the river and hailed me from the shore. His name is Flamric, and he has come with a party of Rohirrim from the Wold. I would have us help his people, if they desire our help. But first we must prepare our own camp, speak with Nona and Corodan for their thoughts, and then collect sticks for a fire. I will do the same.
I do not trust this Frederick.
I do
But
not.
Horn wants us to help him.
I do not like the way he looks at me from out of his eye's corner. If he's not careful, I will teach him the way of my people with Wadu's sword. But Horn wants us to help him. I do not understand this loyalty to the Horse Lords. Sorry. They cast him out. He should hate them for that. I will not impose my beliefs upon him, but I do not understand his. You spoke in general terms on the boat to Horn and Nona, but I know why we are really here, Hilbern. The Lady Galadriel entrusted me with knowledge of our true mission. I will not betray that trust. While we are here in the East Wall, I think it is fine for us to help Framric's people. This is clearly what Horn desires, but we must also keep alert for signs of our mutual friends. They came to this land, that we know. What happened to them then? That is a mystery, and it is one we must find the answer to. And then help on is right. We need to gather sticks to make a campfire, or we will have a cold night. And I'm assuming that Framric is going to have a quest for me.
I need your help if you can aid me.
I am Framric, a man of Rohan proud and true, and I need your help. Orcs have crossed the river, and now they swarm throughout this land, all along the east wall of my homeland. I came south from the Wold with a party of some 30 riders to investigate what could have drawn the orcs across the great river. When we arrived, the force was even larger than we expected, and they set upon us. We drove them away, but suffered many losses, and our camp is in disarray. My people could use your help to restore the camp and make safe the border of Rohan. Go to the southwest, near the passage into the Norcrofts. Make your presence known to my brothers if you wish to aid us. All right, so that is over there, and there is a town there. But then we can't come back here, right? So we're going to stay here, and we're going to wrap it up here at the end of the session. So, okay, so we did get another tracery. What do we get? We got a focus builder damage, but I believe we already have focus builder damage here, and it is a teal one, which is a higher level than the purple one. So we're just going to turn that into ancient script by using the Flame of Ankalamir. I think that's what it is, right? Is that what that's called? The Flame of Ankalamir on it. That'll disenchant it and turn it into ancient script. Then we have, let's the rest of this is just stuff I can vendor. The enhancement runes. So going back to what we talked about earlier, so you'll notice that when I look at this, hover over it, it says enhancement rune +2, level 50. So the enhancement limit, by the way, says 125. That's to tell you that once this number here goes to 125, that rune won't be useful anymore. So I've got a little while that I can use these runes. So you just drag this onto a tracery in the slot you wish to enhance. So in this case, let's bump up Heroic Precision. That'll bump up my critical rating from 116 to 123. Nice. Okay. All right. So then we're going to go ahead and sell off the stuff that I've got, which isn't very much. I don't know that that's going to be better for me than the Universal Morale Potions, which are 15%. Not to do the math, but I don't like keeping too much inventory. So, well, we'll hold on to them for now just in case, but I'm going to get rid of the power potions because you never need power. I mean, I never need to restore power, at least. All right. I'm going to go ahead and quit the game right now. And if you have any questions about the game, especially the story elements that we just looked at, feel free to get those ready for me as I jump into the chat. So I'm going to go ahead and exit the game. And turn off that secondary camera there. All right. And let's turn the chat back on. All right. That was fun. That was really fun. What a great set of story elements we got to see tonight. My favorite thing from tonight, or the thing that was best conveyed from either the story narrative or the original Lord of the Rings narrative, definitely Frodo's experience at Parthgalen. That was far and away, the most kind of lore accurate, but also playing with the freedom of it that I really enjoyed. But I really did enjoy, that story of Fengel. Now, obviously that part is made up. But he was never supposed to be king. I should point that out, because his older brothers were the twin brothers, sons of Fulquina, that died when they went to help the steward Turin II. They're the ones who are buried at, I can't remember now. To look that up. Where were those boys buried? Let me go to tokengateway.net real quick and get that for you. Folkred and Fastred were the two, and they're in Howth in Gwanur, which is on the shores of the river Poros, and it was just fantastic. But as for Fengel, he was never supposed to be king, and it's interesting because he was, not a good king. He was a greedy king, because interestingly, for his greed was that when his brothers died, Gondor sent a huge wergild of gold to his father being Fulquina. And so he grew up spoiled, right? I mean, he had all that money. And his son disliked him so much, he left and went with his wife's family to Gondor. That would be Thengel, Theoden's father, right? So, yeah. He's not a good one. But I do like that story about Wirgenda. That was a really cool curse. Let me scroll through some of the other things here. Favorite thing from tonight, but favorite story that I've gone through with Hilbern. It's the new stuff, I have to say. It's been really cool to see these new story elements because, with Duerthal, who's the only other character that I've not Valar'd that I've taken anywhere, I've got him stuck actually at the part where he's about to be taken prisoner and taken to Isengard. So I'm behind that story. The Isengard bit was interesting, being taken prisoner. But I think it's this stuff that I'm experiencing now that's my favorite stuff. I do love these sessions, these story-based sessions that are just fantastic. Boomsday, I'm glad you were able to catch it live. Glad you could join us. What do I think was the purpose of conveying the add-in story? You're talking about the story of the curse and Fengel. I think to remind us that, not every king was like Theoden, right? Not every king is a good king. Fengel was not a good king. He was not loved by the people. And he very much got what it was coming to him, like you say, Dan. Um, if I had to take Nona or Lady Haleth into battle, which would you choose? Haleth, sorry, still Haleth. Not game related, but wondering what I've discovered that I found most interesting in my time exploring Tal Elmar. I will tell you, so for those who don't listen to the Prancing Pony podcast, and you should, James and I have spent the last 4 episodes going through that story, which is found. It's the very last story in the very last chapter of the very last book of the history of Middle Earth. And it is such an interesting story. I don't know that I found anything in there except more questions. I mean, really, that story does nothing but drive question after question after question. Where do these people live? Where are the hills of Agar? Where do the fell folk come from? Who are the fell folk? Who are the fiery demons in the mountains? Where is all of this taking place? When in the Second Age? I mean, we know kind of when it isn't. I mean, we know it's certainly before the fall of Numenor, but we don't know exactly where it is. It's really wild. It's such a broad range of things. So all I've really done was generate more questions. Katie says about you needing to do the Isengard and Theodred quest lines of Falcon Clan. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's excuse me. It's less about the Falcon Clan, but the Theodred quest line was great. The Fords of Isen was another really, really powerful story. But that's also because I love that story. Matt and I spent 3 episodes on the Battle of the Fords of Isen last season, I think. I can't remember for sure. And then of course we got that interview with Brett Devereaux. It was 3 episodes on the Battles of the Fords of Isen. It's just such a really powerful story. Well, Hassel, they weren't called Rome and York then, but apparently Doggerland was a thing. I didn't know that at the time. James and I talk about it in episode 40 something. I don't remember. We make a correction, but apparently there was a thing called Doggerland that I didn't know about. That apparently there used to be a way to actually walk from the mainland of Europe to England, maybe some 10,000 years ago. Not Pangea or anything like that. It wasn't continental drift that changed it. It just had to do with rising sea levels and stuff. So I had no idea about it though. That's a long way to go. I think we looked at the mileage and it was really long. It's like, a couple of months journey. So probably not, to answer your question. Could I do it now? Definitely not. I mean, I'd have to take the channel. There's no Doggerland anymore. The amendment hasn't been released yet, Hassel. It's, yeah. And thank you, Katie, for the episode reference numbers. Those are from last year. The 360 to 62 were the Battles of the Fords of Isen. 363 was our interview with Brett, which covered the Battles of Isen, but also covered the battles, when Eorl came down and saved Gondor's butt, when the king and his sons were both killed in the Battle of the Daggerlad there with Balchath and all of that good stuff. So. Well, any more questions before I wrap up for the evening? This has been a fun one. I feel like I can't quit now, but I am going to be taking a break soon. I'm not sure when, looking at the calendar ahead. This weekend's going to be fun. You know what Saturday is? Saturday is the PPP plays at 1:00, but you know what else is Saturday? The 10th anniversary of the PPP. So that'll be fun. I'll be here for then. Next week might actually take off on Tuesday. I don't know. I'll let you know ahead of time. But maybe that's when I'll switch over to some Lego builds. I kind of want to build the Lego Balrog and Gandalf Booknook. Everything is frozen. Oh, not again, huh? I'm sorry. I know we've had a lot of trouble with both platforms now, with both YouTube and Twitch. If I could pick an ending for Tal Elmar, well, it's so interesting because Tolkien sort of picks an ending. He says he writes things like the further adventures of Tal Elmar, like Tel Elmar in Rune, Tal Elmar in, all these places. And you realize that he, in theory, maybe goes along with these men of Numenor in their exploration. Tell you what, I think did James and I talk about our potential ending with Tal Elmar in the P5? I think we might have. I just don't remember whether we talked about it in the show. Yeah, we talked about it in the P5. So the Mega P5 that just dropped for episode 400, the fourth of the 4 topics is just speculation. And the last question on that was, where do you think Tolkien wanted to take Tel Elmar and for what purpose in the Legendarium? So take a listen to that and get both James and my responses. Boomsday Device, 10 years. It does. Isn't that wild? Like, it feels like it's been a part of my life forever now. And yet, I was already 47 when I started it, so it's pretty wild to think that this has been going on for 10 years. I was looking at the crazy numbers because, of course, there's nothing like podcast numbers to kind of make you feel a little prideful or the opposite if your podcast is struggling. So I had to take the Libsyn numbers, which ended in, I don't know, 2019, 2020, when we moved to Spreaker. I think it was 21. And then from Spreaker to Glassbox in 25. But when you add all of that up together, it's over 12 million downloads for the 400 episodes. Well, yeah, for the 400, over 12 million, like 12.2, 12.3 million downloads have taken place. That's a lot of downloads. And I'm still like blown away at what that is, what that represents. But yeah, super happy about that. Hassel, what area of the map am I most looking forward to explore with Hilbern? I think Rohan, fully Rohan. 2020. Thank you, Katie. Showing how to refresh. There should be a little circle thing on your browser window. I remember the Libsyn as well. Libsyn was great. It was really, really good. Stay a while and listen. The Horde of Chehalis gets it. Yes. That's what was his name? The guy, now I can't remember his name. Deckard Cain. That was Deckard Cain. Stay a while and listen. And the hard work also of Sean and then all the other co-hosts that have come along since then. 12 million Monty Python jokes, just about close to it. 3 million of those downloads are just Katie listening to 111. That is not a lie. That is not a lie. Oh, man. Oh, that's good stuff. I love it. Oh, on that note. Yeah. Oh, you cheated and looked it up. Yep. Stay a while and listen. I'd like to think that I'm remembering the voice accurately enough. I'd have to find a YouTube clip to 11 Dan was our very first highlight episode. So what we did is we took for our 111st episode, we probably about 5 or 6 weeks before that, we reached out to our audience and said, hey, submit your favorite highlights, give us episode numbers, timestamps, like what we said that you liked. And then we manually ourselves, because we didn't have an editor at this point, I manually went to each of those episodes and clipped those things. And then we played the clips and reacted to them. So there's not just the clips themselves, but sort of director's commentary. And yeah, I think, like Katie says, I think we only went through episode 103 or 104 because we had to create it before, like we couldn't go through 110 because we would have to take like 3 weeks off to get it all set up. But yeah, 111 was a good one. And then 222 and 333 have also been highlight episodes, and those are good as well. I'm a little nervous for 444, which will come 21 episodes into, it'll come about this time next season, actually, because this season runs through 423 at the end of July. So 424 will start in September. 424, 425. Yeah. It should be in late February, early March next year. We'll get episode 444. I'm glad it's a year away. I don't want to have to think through that. The logistics of that, I have to tell you, the logistics alone are because you've got to build the spreadsheet with the references. And the problem is that the references change because in the past, we didn't have the technology for what they call digital ad insertion. And if you recorded an ad, it was hard coded into the episode, baked in, they called it. And now, of course, everything is done. We record without any episodes, and then I record some host read ads, and then they do the ads that aren't host read, and they just throw them in at the ad break spots. Well, somebody might get, a single 30-second pre-roll ad, and the spot might be in the third segment. So there've been 2 ad breaks in the middle, and they might have gotten 1 in each, or 2 in one and 1 in another. But somebody else might have gotten 3 pre-roll spots and 2 ads in each, one of which was 60 seconds longer. So the timestamps can be, depending on how far to the episode you are, they can be anywhere from 30 seconds off to 3 minutes off. So it's going to be hard to track those down. We're hoping that we'll have a lot of folks who are patrons that get the ad-free tier, because then they'll be able to give us a direct timestamp. But we'll figure it out. Yeah, I've got a team that'll help, so it should be a lot of fun. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and head off for the evening. Thank you again so much for joining me, especially on a night when the internet seems to have been having so much trouble. Appreciate your company, and I appreciate you being with me as we went through some really important story elements. I mean, critical story elements right there. So we will see you all again on Saturday to celebrate the anniversary, the 10th anniversary of the Prancing Pony podcast, 400 episodes. I mean, wow. So thanks again, everyone. We'll see you on Saturday. Good night for now.